Imagine waking up in the morning, excited about your life, happy about your relationships, confident in yourself. This manifestation book breaks down how to make that fantasy into your reality, allegedly. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing Lacy Phillips' How to Manifest book that just came out. If you've been wanting to try Lacy Phillips' To Be Magnetic program, but you're not really willing to drop hundreds of dollars on it, this book might be the answer for you, or it might not be, so let's talk about it. If you're new here, I'm Colleen Welsch. I'm a freelance copywriter turned coach turned music producer. I've also been doing To Be Magnetic for 2.5 years. Am I the most objective person to do this review? Perhaps not. If you want an objective review, this is probably not where you should be, but I will say this. I know a lot about this program, so I can tell you whether or not this is an accurate reflection of what is actually in the program and how I think that this book compares to the program. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So what you can expect to get out of this video today is my honest take on the book and who I think it is for and not for. Okay, let's get started. First, I want to talk about what makes this different from other manifestation books. If you've read The Secret, what's another one? I don't know, there's a bunch of them. To Be Magnetic, aka TBM, is Lacy Phillips' neural manifestation program that uses a combination of guided meditation, journaling prompts, and other exercises to help you manifest what you want in your life. Yay! The key difference is that this program focuses on reprogramming your subconscious by creating new neural pathways in your brain. And these neural pathways reflect high self-worth beliefs. So basically, you are rewriting your brain to have higher self-worth. And that in turn will help to manifest things that you want into your life. If you've ever done a different type of manifestation program and made a vision board and you're like, well, this is great and all, but like, I don't see how it can happen for me. Or you did see how it could happen for you, but then you just kind of like sabotaged yourself. This program stops you from doing that. It helps you to actually believe that the things that you want can be for you. And because you believe they're for you, you'll stop sabotaging yourself. So because this program focuses on raising your self-worth, I think it was particularly effective for me because I had chronic low self-esteem like my whole life. Years of therapy, while helpful in other aspects, didn't actually help me to improve my self-esteem. And in fact, in some ways it made it worse, honestly. Though I still recommend therapy, but it's not good for this particular thing. At least in my opinion. My therapist would be like, well, just believe in yourself, love yourself. And I would be like, but how? How do I do that? Do you know what I mean? I need steps. I need actionable steps. Personally, what I found so unique about TBM is that it's not just like a philosophy that you read about in a book. They have tools that you can actually follow and incorporate that philosophy into your life without engaging with the philosophy on a regular basis. You're not going to make any changes. Like you're just going to like read it and be like, okay, great. And then just forget about it. So you have to keep like revisiting it. What you'll find in this book is the main TBM philosophy of manifesting from your subconscious and how that works. You start with learning about why that works and how that is possible. Then you figure out your authenticity because you can't really manifest unless you're being authentic, which is a whole subject within itself. You also cast your list, so you figure out what exactly you want to manifest and write it down. And then she explains the core pillars of her manifestation process, which are unblocking, expanding, and aligned action. She also describes how to navigate through all the various tests and triggers that you will face as you make your way through your manifestation list. Even though I had definitely heard all this content before through their podcast and also in their app, I still found it engaging and helpful. I absorb information differently when I listen to it versus when I read it. So it kind of like helped me get a new perspective on the material. And also, since I was engaging in it in a different way, I kind of saw how I was like messing some things up, if that makes any sense. Like, I realized that the things I had put on my manifestation list were like not correct. When you're casting a manifestation list, you're not supposed to have specific deadlines or specific people. I wrote things in mine like, I want to have 1,000 monthly listeners on Spotify before the end of the year. And I want to collaborate with the guy from Wolfpack. Well, saying by the end of the year and the guy from Wolfpack is so specific that that's like a no-no in the TBM manifestation world. You want the manifestations that you write down to be realistic within 6 to 9 months. So getting 1,000 monthly listeners on Spotify is like, that's fine. That's a perfect thing to write down because that's totally realistic within 6 to 9 months. But I didn't need to write the deadline. And the guy from Wolfpack, like, what does that represent to me? That represents making music with people who are really talented and interesting and funny. That's what I should have written down. Anyways, I never really realized that before, so that was super helpful. I also wasn't physically writing my manifestation list before. I was just like typing it up in my phone. Actually writing it down, as they recommend in the book, was, I think, also helped. Because, spoiler alert, I've already manifested 1,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and I did like within 7 days of writing that down. There was also another exercise that I found really helpful that I don't think I've seen anywhere else in the program, and that is figuring out your patterning before your manifestations come through. The exercise asks you to look back at your last few major manifestations, whether you were consciously manifesting them or not, and then writing about like the stuff that happened beforehand and figuring out like what the common themes were. That was super illuminating for me, and I can even tell you like what some of mine are. My pings and manifestations come through invitations from other people. Usually people will tell me about something I should apply for. They'll just call me and give me money or something. I also receive those invitations after communicating my goals or struggles either in real life to people or through social media, setting boundaries and saying no. Wow, yeah, I mean, typical kind of stuff. And I have like a whole list of these, but I don't want to bore you with that. But yeah, there's lots of little journaling exercises like that in the book that are very helpful. If you were wondering how they do the guided meditations in the book, there is a link in the book to a web page where you can listen to the guided meditations that they recommend for free. I think they have a new meditation, or deep imagining as they call it, a DI. I think they have a new one specifically for the book. I did not get to listen to it because I had an advance copy of the book and that page wasn't live yet. So I can't tell you how that was. Okay, so who is this book really for? I really think it would be a perfect introduction to someone who is curious about TBM or manifestation, but like wasn't ready to commit to the whole program. Because while I think that TBM's program is affordably priced, because it's like $20 to $30 a month, you have to commit for a whole year when you sign up. If you do want to sign up for that, I have an affiliate link that I'll drop below that you can use so you can get a little discount. So it's a good introduction. You can check it out, see if the philosophy resonates with you. I also feel like it would be a good gift for someone who you think should get into TBM, but you don't want to like pressure them to sign up for a whole year's worth of this program. I might be buying this for some people for Christmas. But once you've been doing TBM for a while, it does kind of like become a part of your like philosophy, like your outlook on life. Like it is like a system of looking at life and navigating through life. So it is helpful for your friends and family to at least have an idea of what the hell you're talking about. I also want you to have realistic expectations of what this book can do for you. Like, it's not a magic bullet. You're not going to read this book and then have like $100 million mansion. I mean, maybe, but probably not. Just reading a book about the Chibi magnetic process is not enough to create results. Like you have to consistently engage with the process, like use your tools and stuff. So this is really just like an intro you can dip your toe in, but I don't think you're gonna like change your life from reading this book. If you're like me and you are deep into the work already, like you've done most of the workshops, you've listened to like every episode of the podcast, will you learn anything new? Maybe. Like I said, I think it's sometimes helpful to engage in material in different ways because it just hits your brain different, but maybe not. Maybe I'm sure you're very busy, so like maybe you don't want to like add another book to your reading list, and that's okay. Then again, if you're already a big fan of TBM, like you probably already pre-ordered this book. Okay, so let's just like recap here. Pros, it's a great entry point into TBM without a big financial commitment. Although, honestly, listening to the podcast is an even lower financial commitment. But this really gets like straight to the point. And it's a good overview of everything. Another pro, it clarified some core concepts for me, and I think it'd be a good gift for people. But some cons are, if you're already a TBM super fan, it's probably gonna be super repetitive. I mean, like literally, because I listen to so much of the podcast, some of the text in the book is like word for word what Lacy says. Podcast after podcast after podcast, and you'll like literally like recognize her spiel. And the other con is like this book alone, just reading it is not going to give you transformational results. So, should you buy this book? Should you get it from the library? Yes, if you're curious about manifestation, you're curious about TBM, you don't want to buy the whole program yet, which I can 100% understand. And if you just like reading, you just prefer absorbing information through text. Or you can skip it if you're already pretty deep into the TBM work and you don't feel like you want to read a book. If you don't like reading, don't get this book. But overall, if you have time to read, it doesn't hurt to get it from the library, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I have a promo code for To Be Magnetic, and I'll also link the book below. So let me know in the comments if you have read the book, or any questions you have about manifestation or TBM in general. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, bye, buddy.